So let's talk a little more about our 1-3-1 offense. So if the other team is man, if you remember our play, we talked about we're trying to get it over to, pass to one of the wings. But if they're guarded, we talked about how we're going to V-cut down, bring the defender down, and pop back up, make the pass. This person comes along, the screen is set, they pass it, and they go in. Right? That's what we've been taught. That's what I've been teaching you, and that's fine. It works great until the other team catches on. So what was happening this last game was the coach, reminded the players that our 1-3-1 goes a pass to the wing is our first option. So they actually had these guys intentionally sleeping back to try to intercept that pass. They wanted us to make that pass. And I'll try to remind you guys to, keep an eye on that. But if you see that they're reading that pass to the wings and we can't do it, even if we're V-cutting, then we got to make an adjustment. And there are other options. I didn't want to overload the options for the team, but it looks like we may have to at least throw a few in here so that we can know what we need to do in case they make an adjustment. So again, our first plan would be to go to the wing. One of the things we talked about is if this person's having trouble. I know we talked about this, but in the game, when this guy was having trouble, our help would always come from the wings, which is great that we're actually helping out and we're trying to get the screen through. But if we can help it, I really like 4 to be the one to set the screen for the down to the basket. So again, reminder that one option is a pass. The other option is the high screen with 4, and 1 comes down for the layup. And again, layup, or what I'd like to see is if he dumps it to 5 makes that shot. Because we have 5 sitting down here for all these instances, and we're just not quite getting those dump passes to our number 5 guy. All right, so that is one of them. Again, it's very simple. Of help your guard that has the ball up here out, and we can side screen, but I'd like for us to possibly use our 4 because I think that works the best for us. All right, but let's talk about another option of actual passing. So I have been talking to Ethan about this and going over this, but I want everybody that plays the 4 position, or technically if you're 5, you most likely will be the 4 anyway, is I want you to be able to try to post up on your person if he's there. If you're wide open, then we don't have to worry about posting up. But posting up is putting your backside against the player, getting your hands up, asking for a pass. Because I'm pretty sure if our player's in front, defender's behind, even if number 1 is being guarded pretty tightly, and either a sidestep pass could be possible, or over the top pass could go to 4. So, a pretty good chance that as long as our guy is in front of his guy at number 4 position, we can get that ball to him if we want. So, if the pass is not to the wing, we can get the ball here. And what happens is this actually opens up a lot of options. So 4, and like I talked about before, needs to be patient. He needs to see the court and not freak out and just make a move without thinking. So we have 2 options. Or actually 2. We have more than the 2 options. But two main cuts I want to see happen first. So he has the ball. Again, he could be anywhere along this free throw line. Let's put him over here a little more. So that pass was coming to the angle right there. It's number 3. Remember we talked about V-cuts, so you go down and come back out? Well, we actually have a backdoor cut that works perfect for this. So he's here. He will draw his defender a little bit this way, and then he will actually backdoor cut behind his player. 4 passes it down and then that should be a shot. So the key on this is that 3, and like I mentioned before, you control your defense of where they go. If you see he's following you, perfect. He's following you, you go this way, he's going this way, then you just make a quick step that way, 4 will see you. And this is 4 becomes kind of like the assist man and point guard right now. He's seeing the court, he's seeing his options. These guys will need to decide what they're going to do, okay? So if 5 is on this side, 2 ideally would be the person coming this way, backdoor cut, dump the ball. And then he gets the shot. And that's why I always have 5 kind of like be on the opposite side of where the play is going to happen, and we just have to see where that's at, because I like the idea of we have this nice little pocket right here if they're playing man-to-man correctly. And again, we'll talk about zone in a second, but this is for man-to-man. All right, so that is one option, is to have, let's go back over this other side. So that the backdoor cut. So he goes, he backdoor cuts. If it's not there, I want him to come all the way through and pull his defender, right? He could set a screen for 5 and come around, but really it is the best if he comes all the way through. We now actually have an overload situation on this side, which is perfectly fine because plan B of this works well if there's nobody over here, because the next thing is 1 comes through for a handoff and comes down. And then he has his shot. All right. So, and if 1 comes through and there is no handoff, he can come out. We don't necessarily need to completely overload this side. He just needs to come space out. The key is, as you come down the lane, if you don't have anything here, clear out to one of the directions, because we don't want somebody just sitting here after your cut, because then we can't have anybody else cut to the basket because they'll be in the way. So if all that fails, 4 still has that ball, and this is where that drop step talked about, quick leg hook. You just leg hook around him. Your guy, one quick move, you can either shoot the ball there, or if you have a continuation, just go and take it all the way to the basket. So let's bring this all the way back to the beginning, now that I showed you the different options of our 1-3-1 and how it can work, so that we can show something other than the wing pass. So 1 comes down. Doesn't have that wing pass, but number 4's worked really hard and got good position at the free throw line. The pass goes here. 3 comes around, backdoor cuts. That pass is not there, unfortunately. He can't make that pass around his defender, even though that'd be awesome if he could. That clears out. 1 comes around. He's actually working perfect on this because the handoff went smooth. This guy gets trapped behind on this tight handoff, and we got that basket. All right, so that is for man defense.